Bern Firemen's Museum is really a celebration of New Bern's long history of superlative firefighting. And it's also a reminder, some ways say, look how far we've come, and also say, look how good we were then, too. The city of New Bern actually was very wise. They had all this old firefighting equipment, and in 1955, they decided they would build a fireman's museum. You also have to remember that they tell me you couldn't run for office unless you were a fireman. So they probably exerted a lot of influence on the city fathers and said, we ought to get that equipment in, fix it up, and have a fireman's museum. So in 1955, they built a building that was the Firemen's Museum, and there we sat. In the meantime, they had built this new fire station. This building became vacant in 2000. By then, the city was no longer operating the museum. They had closed the museum, and a group of citizens had formed this not-for-profit company called the Friends of the New Bern Firemen's Museum and got permission from the city to operate the museum. Formed this 501c3 so that we could take contributions, and cleaned up the museum, gave it a real facelift, and opened it again. So it was a bunch of people who said, this is too wonderful a treasure to lose. And this was just the old fire station. And 12 months later, it's our new museum. I happen to think it's important to know about your history. One of the first things I always do when I go live somewhere new is find out about the community. And you find out about the community by walking around the streets, etc. But you also find out things about the community by learning about the history. And so the Firemen's Museum teaches me a whole lot of things about the kind of stock that New Bern comes from. You know, it's not just about fire engines and fires, but the people that work these things and how they treated each other and what they did, and the amazing contribution they made to the safety of us all. I love being in this building because, as I was explaining to everyone, the building itself is our largest artifact by far. We depend very heavily on private support. The Friends of the Firemen's Museum are operated by a board of directors. There are 11 of us. We are all appointed by the aldermen. So we don't appoint ourselves. The aldermen appoint us. The terms are 3 years. I wish everybody knew how really wonderful firefighters are. We have a close working relationship with the firemen. They came over and helped us move. I can't possibly say enough good things about our firefighters, and the more I get to know them, the more I think of them. They wear very well. I mean, they are just tremendous people, and I really hope when people come to see the Firemen's Museum that they realize that the Firemen's Museum really represents a long history of wonderful, dedicated people who served this community well and lovingly and efficiently and with just tremendous passion and respect.
The Friends of the Firemen's Museum Board of Directors meetings are on the third Tuesday of every month. Meetings are held at the Firemen's Museum and are open for the public to attend. For more information, call 252-636-4087 or visit www.firemensmuseum.com.